Talking is good. It's your boy, Cody, and the other guy here once again. Good conversation, tiny table, big room. No producer today.
No producer. I wonder what everyone thinks downstairs
That's
when
here.
and then all of a sudden they hear that and they're like, "What is happening right now?" And I wonder how confused they get.
Well, I think we used to give people a heads up that we're going to do
Right.
it, but now it's at the point where I'm just like, I don't care.
Just go for
They'll
it.
figure it out.
Right.
Well, because we've told them so many times, like, it's fine. Don't worry about making noise. 'Cause we're gonna roll with it no matter what anyway. So.
That's my exact thought process as you rolled into that, though. I was like, "There's definitely 3 people down there that did not know this was coming."
It's fine. They figured it
I mean,
out now.
they knew once you
They
hit.
know
Yeah,
now.
for sure.
There's those idiots up there yapping real loud again.
Pot into the pod, making things happen.
Oh,
yeah.
man, goodness.
Goodness.
You said you made a decision before the
Yeah,
pod, and I said, wait, don't
I
tell
don't
me your
know.
decision.
I don't know if my wife wants me to share my decision.
Whoops. My bad. Well, we'll hold that decision for another time.
I'll say this.
Oh, say
This
it.
is a decision that I feel like I can share with the public.
Okay, you have a month before it airs to get your wife's permission.
Oh,
If you want me
jeez.
to bleep it.
No, it's just we're doing some working around the house and it's a lot of work. It's
Oh.
making me tired.
Ugh. Yeah, gross.
Got a whole room that we have to remodel because of a broken pipe and it's just annoying.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, what's crazy too is like before this incident happened, like we just got done repainting his room and like finally like
I hate
it
painting.
moved from like the little kids room to like teenager room. Like it got redecorated. All of his kid stuff got out of there. We
Yep.
painted it. He got like some nice shelves, his trains, his cars. Like it looked really good. Like I was like, this is a nice room.
Yeah.
And then disaster.
Oh, so it's his room that you have the
Yeah,
burst?
Samuel's
Oh,
room
man.
was so we had a pipe that broke underneath our concrete slab, and it was in Samuel's room. Yeah, dude, and it who knows how long it was broken. It was broke long enough to seep through the concrete to make the carpet wet.
That's wild.
So I imagine that's a process. So I imagine it's been leaking for a minute.
Yeah, because I imagine, unless it's just like, a bust. You know what I mean? Like it couldn't be a busted pipe, right? Like it has to be a slow leak because if it's
So-
a busted pipe, you should be having some big issues,
Yeah,
right? Like
so-
water,
right.
like your water meter should be going like crazy or something.
So apparently the company that the builders use to do the plumbing,
Mm-hmm.
they are in like a litigation lawsuit because of the piping that was installed in the house. It was faulty piping.
Nice.
Yeah. But here's the crazy part. You have to have, I've had 2 of these break. You have to have 3 break before you can file a claim.
No way. What? So they allow 2 in a normal situation.
I know. Like, it's like 2's
2 out of 3, guys.
2's not enough evidence that this pipe is faulty. 2, this could be coincidental. We need 3. That's the magic number.
3
to
strikes,
prove
you're out.
Yeah, well, I guess they're going with the whole baseball mentality. And so, but my mentality is like, I can't have one. Like, this has been a lot. You know what I mean? So, but, God's good. He works it all out for our good. And it's been a wild ride. Right now, everyone's in one room camping together.
Oof, I feel like you guys are constantly going back and forth with the one-room camping situation.
Yeah,
it's
dude,
like right when you get out of there, you get back in there.
I know it. But bless his heart, Samuel asked me last night. He's like, when can I get my room back? And I was like, brother, I'm working just as fast on this as you. Trust me. No one wants this more than for you guys to be
Dad
in your
is
own room.
working, buddy.
No one wants it more. I do love it. Is cool though. You get those rare. Like I remember when I lived in Colorado, it snowed one year. Only 1 year. No kidding. It snowed every year, but one year we got this freak snowstorm. We got like 7 feet, knocked out power for like 5 days, and we were all locked in our house, couldn't go anywhere, and we just played cards for 5 days and sat around the fireplace and. And, I remember that to this day. So maybe this is a memory. When disaster strike, family memories
cut
just
the
go
power
right
to your
up.
house.
Oh, gosh. No.
Just cut the power, bust out the cards.
The time to cut power in Madison, Alabama is like late fall,
I was gonna say,
early spring.
There's like a fine 2-week window in spring and a fine 2-week window in
Yes.
fall, and that's all you get.
That's it, man. That's when you cut power. Everything else is so drastic, cold or hot. It's crazy.
I accidentally left my windows open last night. Like with the screen, obviously, but like
Your house?
Yeah, well, okay, so I do smash burgers in my house.
Okay.
And like it gets, it smells like burgers
Yeah,
in there.
dude.
So I was trying to like let it air out last
Yeah.
night, try to get the smell out. And I don't know why. I opened 3 windows, and for whatever reason, I started and I closed one. And then like I just forgot about the other two. And I woke up this morning and I was like going in my living room. I was like, oh, it's like, why is it just like?
Did your AC run all night?
Oh, I'm sure it did.
Oh my!
Because it was still 60. It's still like red 69
Oh,
degrees, but
no.
it didn't feel like 69 degrees in my living room. I was like,
no.
it feels just like a little bit like muggy in here. And like I was questioning, I was like, did our AC unit break?
Oh,
Like,
no.
And then I was like, oh, I left the windows open.
Do you? Anyways, you know.
Are you about to get into
Well, I was gonna ask. Don't you have an alarm on your house?
an alarm?
Yeah.
Oh, like the little like. Oh, is that's why you don't want to ask?
Yeah.
It's
I
out
don't
here.
want people to know if you had an alarm or not.
Our house is protected.
By robots. Technically by robots. My windows have sensors on them, so
Gotcha.
if they're not completely closed or closed just right, I can't set my house alarm.
Yeah.
So
No,
I always know if a window's open.
I don't
or
have
not.
window sensors. I mean, I'm protected.
Oh my god.
I am protected.
Well, I'll say this: the 8 people that listen to our pod are probably not out to rob you, so
Hopefully
you're
not.
okay.
Hopefully not. I have one rather large dog and another one that's not rather large. So good luck.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Good luck.
Although I will say this, not to help my case at all. I was out for a run the other day, and I went just slightly further than because I'm getting pretty good at like knowing like, all right, this is roughly like 3-ish miles. So I'm gonna run this and come back, and it'll be 5 or 3 miles or whatever. And like I got out there, and I realized like, oh, I'm a little further than I wanted to be out here, and I was like, I just don't feel like running anymore. And I was like, I'm just gonna walk.
You Forrest Gump.
Yeah, I was just like,
Gotta
I'm
go home
I'm-
now, but
I'm
I'm walking.
done. I'm done running. I mean, I was close enough to where I could walk, with a reasonable distance to my house. But I was like, oh, I could just like cut through my neighbor's yard here and then just jump my fence and then just go in through my backyard.
Did you?
I did.
Oh.
And but it was so weird because I jumped the fence and it's like then the dogs realized and they were like, oh, like both of them just like, oh,
How'd you get here?
Yeah, and then like my youngest dog, she's our new dog. Like she was so confused. Like tail was wagging, but she was like, like she's like, I want to. I don't understand. Like I'm supposed to. Like,
Intruder, but I love
and
you.
I was like, I like this person, but you don't normally jump the fence. I don't understand what to do.
That's amazing.
So I can't tell if she's a guard dog yet, but I feel like it was slightly there.
You need to pay a stranger like Noah Mackins or something. Jump my fence and let's see what happens.
I gotta know. If
So I know if
something
I have a
jumps
guard
my-
dog.
I need a willing participant.
Yes. Who's not afraid of maybe stitches and rabies.
That's true.
Like,
Well, surely not rabies. They've
I
both
know.
been vaxxed.
they're,
So
they're domesticated. Good deal.
yeah, good deal. Good deal. Good deal. Good deal.
Wow. Normally when we have our little jibber jabber, I know a good way to segue
It
into
leads right
something,
in.
man. I got nothing here.
Well, I don't know.
Are you protected?
That's what I was saying. I was like, we are protected. I am protected. The Lord is my protector.
The angels outside of my house are far superior to a little
That is
alarm
right.
system in
That
my
is
house.
right. I'm I'm just really putting this out there. I'm really bad about leaving my garage door open. Which also like I leave my car keys in my car. Like part of me is just like I'm just gonna make it like if you're gonna break into my car, just open the door. Like if you're gonna try
Save
to like
me the
hotwire
insurance
my
money.
car, just the keys in it, just drive off. I'll report it stolen.
We never locked our doors and always left our keys in our car.
Kylie gets so
when I
mad
lived
at
in
me.
Colorado.
Though.
We had one rule: if you borrow it, put it back.
I mean that's a pretty good rule.
It's a pretty good rule.
That's
You know what I
pretty good
mean?
rule.
If you take someone's truck, just make sure it gets put back.
Put it back where it
preferably with the
belongs.
amount of gas in
Yeah,
it.
or
that you
put it
took
in a full
with,
tank, you know
full
what I mean?
tank, but it's there. Take it, whatever. That's why we leave the keys in it.
Isn't
You
that what
never know.
happened? Like one of Pastor Mark's like I was gonna say like his old lady friends, but like
Christine
one of
Johns,
the
yeah.
church ladies.
Yeah.
Her car got stolen, and then when they're like, we're gonna believe that it's a full tank of gas when it comes back,
Yeah.
and then it did.
Yeah. And Pastor was like, "Why didn't you just believe for a new car?
That'd been a better prayer for sure.
Let's get that upgrade."
Felt so bad we bought you a new car because clearly we couldn't afford one for ourselves, but we bought you one anyway.
I will say it's cool though. Like, probably I don't know if cool is the right word to say, but like a car got stolen, got brought back with full tank of gas. I mean that's pretty epic. But it's just amazing how and I know a lot of people that aren't religious that don't have this relationship with Jesus would probably be like, that's got to be coincidental.
Sure.
That's an accident. I mean, maybe somebody found it and returned it and was doing like Good Samaritan or whatever. But I mean, I don't really know that I believe in coincidences. I believe in like divinity. And so I just think it's cool how somebody could like take her car to mess with her. That's not the cool part.
Sure.
But how God could take something that was meant for evil
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
turn it around and like, oh, now you've got a full tank of gas. Still not cool that someone took your car, but cool how God, kind of like what with us with our house, like you know, it's not fun. It's not enjoyable to have to do these repairs, to go through like getting rid of mold and like
Yeah.
doing all that nastiness in the house. Talk about smell and smash burgers, dude. I'll take that smell over mold any day.
Gross.
Yeah, right. But, you know, God's working it out and
Mm-hmm.
he's blessing us and we're getting great family time together. And it's just so cool, like, to know that no matter what happens in life, no matter what season I'm in, no matter what difficulty I face, I've got the creator of the universe. And I know I say that a lot, but I've got the creator of the universe, like, working on my behalf to make sure that this situation that was designed by the enemy to hurt me, to steal, kill, and destroy stuff in my life, God's going to be like, yeah, you tried, but guess what? I am far superior and I'm going to turn it around and it's going to be a blessing to this individual. Kind of like with Job. I know a lot of people say that God did that, but the devil was the one doing that. And then God ended up multiplying him in the end, you know? And so it's never fun to go through those seasons.
Right. Hopefully no one argued that it would be. That'd be really weird.
Well, you know, I think some people do argue that though.
That it's fun?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Not fun. Yeah. But like that it's necessary.
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
That like God's trying to teach you something in that season.
Which he does.
He can teach us
Yeah.
and he does because he's always teaching us, but he doesn't
Yeah.
have to cause bad
Yeah,
things
yeah.
to teach me.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
teach me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't need something horrible to happen. But it is cool. I feel like if you go into stuff like that with the right perspective and you can see God, like Joseph,
Yeah.
like however many years, I always forget how many years it was, like 17 something or 30 something when he was in prison and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
this
yeah.
and this and that. Like he always just knew and had this confidence. Like, no, this is what God spoke to me. It's coming to pass. Might not look good right now,
Yeah.
but we're going to get there.
Yeah, I think that's something that, you know, I don't do enough, like when I'm in a season of hardship, to be
Yeah.
like, all right, Lord, help me grow in this time. You know what I mean? Like, I know you did not cause this,
Yeah.
but like, instead of letting me have like hindsight learning, help me grow now.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and learn what's happening now
That's a good point.
to make sure I don't end up here again, which hopefully that happens in the hindsight portion. But if I'm already in it, let's just go ahead and let the lesson begin. Let's show me what I'm doing wrong, or let's show me what brought me into here, or,
Yeah.
or what people are in my life that led me down this path, or whatever the situation looks like. Just being quick to turn to him, which we should do in all things
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think there's just something about when you get in the middle of that hardship, it's just so big in your face, at least for me, that sometimes it really is hard to be like, all right, God, I'm ready to be taught something, but it's more like, God, I'm just ready to be over with this, and then you can talk to me about it.
That's a good point because I think that's probably, if I had to dare to say, that's probably the majority of people's perspective when
Yeah.
they're in the middle of something.
Yeah.
Like, let's just get through
Yeah.
this and let's put a bow on this and put this season behind us.
Yeah.
I think maybe you're bringing up something that's actually a much better light to go into it with. Be like, instead of like just end it and finish it and let's move on. Okay, I know you're not the author of
Yeah.
this, but I know there's also something valuable you can teach me in the middle of this. So let me learn that so I'm better equipped. You know, it's like the Apostle Paul talked about, like perseverance, like the growing of your faith.
Yeah, yeah.
Like your faith and your trust in God, because that's what faith is, can really grow. He doesn't bring bad situations to grow your faith, but
Yeah.
your faith can really grow. You're trusting God when it looks like everything is not going to come together, when it looks like we're going under and not over, when
Yeah.
it looks like you are the tail instead of the head. You know, it's a good time for you to be like, all right, Lord, you know what? I trust you.
Yeah.
And again, I think saying stuff and communicating stuff the right way is important. You didn't cause this, but I know you can teach me something in the middle of this.
Yeah, yeah.
So teach me how to get closer to you. Teach me how to lead better. Teach me if, like you said, if there is something that I did that caused this, show me what that is so we can
Yeah.
please get rid of that.
Especially if I'm still doing it.
Absolutely.
If I'm still making this issue worse, let's learn this now so it doesn't get even worse than it is.
Which is an interesting prayer because like I wonder how many people actually are willing to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, am I the cause of this?
Yeah, and that's like, even as we're having this conversation, this is something that's like, I'm like learning this right now. It's like maybe
Yeah.
we should do this. Like I should do this more. I'm not speaking this in the same like I do this because I don't.
I'm amazing.
I'm awesome. But you know, it's just like I as we're having this, that's something that I am aspiring to do, at least in this moment of like next time something very difficult comes my way, just being quick to say like, all right, God, what's happening here? Show me the bigger picture here. What is my involvement
Yeah.
in this? What is other people's involvement in this? What can I learn from? What can I grow with? You know, because I think that will make the process a little more bearable.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the right word to say, of like, okay, I'm in this hard season, but God showed me how to get through it, and He showed me how to stay away from it in the future.
Yeah, and I think that that's a very mature place to be. Like, I'm going to take something positive out of this very negative. And I think it's a very mature thing to do, because a lot of us don't like to do it, myself included. Is the first thing I'm going to do when things go awry is let me look internally and be like, okay, am I the source of my own pain here?
Yeah.
And did I do something that got me into this situation? And let me just examine that first. And then if I'm all good with God and with everything else, then let's move on to maybe what the next thing was. And sometimes it is just a flat out attack from the enemy.
Yeah.
You know, we do have, the Bible tells us we have this enemy who's seeking around like a lion, trying to devour people. We know that Jesus said that he comes to steal, kill, and destroy. I mean, he's after people, but you know, we don't focus on that. You know, he's not our focus. God is our focus. I don't even talk to the devil. He's defeated. I'm going to be talk to him. You know what I mean?
It's not worth your time.
Not worth your time. But I think but on the other side of that, I think sometimes Christians are too quick to put it on him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, this is just an attack from the devil.
Yeah.
Maybe it is, or maybe we did something very foolish.
Yeah, maybe you're just not good at managing your finances.
Maybe you're not. That's it.
Or maybe you're just really bad at picking your own friends.
Yeah, or maybe, you know, that car, maybe the devil didn't send that to hit you. Maybe you ran a red light.
Yeah.
Or you rolled through a stop sign, or you didn't look in your mirror. I think lots of times we're quick to roll it off onto him. And the reason why I don't like that is because that, to me, gets rid of accountability.
Yeah, it's no more. It's really no different than like Adam and Eve in the garden shifting the blame.
Right.
Now, again, like you're saying, there obviously are moments where the devil clearly put an attack.
Right.
But it's like the majority of the time, if I had to say, it's probably us.
Yes.
It's probably us.
Right. And so we need to look internally and be like, okay, how can I grow?
Yeah.
I always like to do that. Rachel and I do that a lot. You know, as we're talking about this, I always check with Robert first because I know God's perfect.
Yeah.
So it's not his fault. He didn't cause it. I know the devil's defeated, so he can only do what he can do. So probably the majority of the time, it's something that I'm doing in the natural that's causing this whole thing. You know, if my marriage isn't going well, it's probably more me than it is the devil.
Yeah.
You know, if my finances are, it's probably more me than it is the devil, you know. And so I think there's something healthy about that. Yeah. And that causes growth, which we've talked about many times on the podcast. It's like we just don't really like growth sometimes. Yeah. We don't want to grow up. We enjoy being childish. You know, we enjoy being able to have a temper. We enjoy being able to blame everyone. We enjoy those things. Our flesh likes to get mad at people. I mean, we just enjoy those things. But growth is like, I think the reason it's so important is because then you can avoid future situations. Like a pipe breaking under our house. I don't know that I could have done anything to really avoid that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just one of those things that, unfortunately, you got to get 2 out of 3 before you know about it.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, you know, if it is something, I'm not just going to be one of those people who everything is everyone else.
Yeah.
I want to be one of those people that like looks at Robert first and is like, okay, I just had a fight with this friend. What did I do to mess that up? I just got into it with my parents. What did I do to mess that up? Like my
personal
children.
Accountability.
Personal, and holding yourself personally accountable.
Yeah.
And going there first and being honest in that conversation.
Yeah.
Because there's one thing to be like, okay, what did I do? Nope, I'm good.
Yeah.
It was definitely them.
Yeah.
You know, we got to be honest in that situation. And I think, you know, as I was talking with somebody, and we might have talked about this on the last podcast about accountability, I think the very first step in accountability is being honest with yourself.
Yeah. Kylene and I had a little tiff over the weekend. I mean, it was nothing major. It was just like, for whatever reason, like we just couldn't get on the same page on. It was so insignificant now. I don't even remember what it was to be like, but we just couldn't. Neither one of us were clearly saying what we needed in the moment to make sure we were on the same page, and it ended up where, you know, maybe she kind of got a little more flustered than I did, which kind of caused me to be like, all right, you know, we'll just take a moment, take a step back, and we'll just carry through. And then later on, like, she could kind of tell that, like, it clearly dampened the mood for the day. And so then she apologized to me. But then I was like, immediately like, well, I apologize for my side too. Because obviously, like, it's not just you that led to this argument or this disagreement. Like, I had a part to play in this too.
Yeah.
I appreciate your apology, and obviously I forgive you, but I apologize because I wasn't being very clear in my communication towards you as well, to where we were on the same page. And so just being very quick to recognize that even if there is another person at fault, there's probably fault on your side too.
Yeah, absolutely. No one's perfect.
Yeah.
And I think even if we are in a situation where it wasn't our fault, we probably still did something.
Right.
There's always something we could work on to become better. There's always something we could work on to process better, communicate better, react better. there is always something. So I would even say in a situation that you are pretty blameless in, still check, okay, somebody rear-ended me in traffic. It was completely their fault, but how did I respond in that moment? I think that's just something I'm endeavoring to do, which I need to work harder at, is just making sure I'm growing around every turn. Like every moment in life of every single day, I'm growing, I'm maturing, I'm becoming more developed in the things of God. I'm becoming more developed in my walk with him. I'm becoming a better Christian, a better disciple. And I think even in blameless situations, there's still a way that I can work on myself. I can self-improve. And that's so crucial to us, and a lot of people, like, they make a lot of money having these conferences like self-improvement. People wouldn't go to those if we didn't want to improve as a humanity. So it tells me that there is this desire within human beings to become better.
Yeah.
I think lots of times it's just we take the lazy way, the easy way, where like we've got this inward desire to be better, but it's just so much easier to blame someone else and just like not deal with it,
Yeah.
And so as in all things, just like growing a garden requires work, well, growing your life requires work.
Yeah.
And it requires diligence, and it requires, I think this is the right word, prudence. It requires, perseverance. It requires time.
Yeah.
And the willingness to be able to work on these things. And so just look in every situation, no matter what it is, whether it's with your parents, whether it's with your friends, whether it's with your spouse, whether it's with your career, even your relationship in church and your relationship with God. Am I doing my best here? Am I continually putting my best foot forward? And be honest with God and say, if I'm not, show me how I can improve. What a powerful prayer that is.
Yeah.
Going to God who knows all things and saying, how can I be better? How can I do better? I think that's a better prayer that I'm going to encourage myself to pray at least a lot. I don't want to give a time frame because
Me either.
I want to be able to hold up to whatever I say. I don't want to say daily and then do it weekly. I don't want to say weekly and do it monthly. So I'm just going to do it a lot.
I'm gonna do my best to just be better on my own terms without you knowing about it. No commitment.
Oh gosh, that's so tough.
Well, I mean, it's. Yeah.
I just don't want to break my word. I don't want to say I'm
agree.
going to work on this every day and then I don't.
For sure.
But it is something, I will say this, it is something I'm going to endeavor to work on every day.
To be more cognizant of, just to try to be more aware of. I think that that sounds still like putting like this very loose thing on it.
Yeah, we are very non-committal on today's pod.
But hey, so are you. I know you are. You're listening to this right now.
Yikes.
Oh,
but
my
it's
goodness.
true though. It's true. I want to make an effort just to maybe I'm going to try. This is what I'm going to do. In my non-committal commitment.
At least try.
At least I really like that. I'm going to make a shirt that says non-committal commitment. In my non-committal commitment, I'm going to try every day to just like let it be one of the first things I say to the Lord. Lord, show me what I need to work on today.
Yeah.
Like show Robert what he can do better.
Yeah.
Like whatever that might be. I'm not going to put parameters on it. Better husband, better father, better employee, better disciple, better whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put parameters on it. Just show me whatever it is that I need to do to be better. And maybe he might show me something like, all right, get rid of social media.
Yeah. And honestly, like as you're saying this, like because I feel like the Lord's always trying to talk to us and tell us
That's
these things.
true. I think so.
But I think if we communicate that back to him in those moments where he gives us those gentle nudges, then we'll be more aware that he's actually leading us in those times.
Yes.
Because like, when you're not asking for it and something's being presented to you, you might not notice that the Lord is leading you to say something or to act or be a certain way. But if you are cognizantly and adamantly being like, God, show me the way, tell me the way. So when it's illuminated to you, you're like, oh, I understand now. This is the path he wants me to go on. I get that now. I need to be quick to listen, slow to speak, or slow to anger, however the order is. But you know what I mean? Like I'm aware of this now because of my prayer to God. And,
yeah, it's very difficult to find things you're not looking for.
I mean, yeah.
So you can happen to stumble upon it.
Right.
And maybe serendipitously find it.
Yeah.
But I think it's easier to find something when you're looking for it.
This is true.
And so that prayer every day is kind of like us saying, I'm going to look for this today.
Yeah.
I'm going to look for faults and flaws, not in everybody else,
Yeah. Oof.
but in myself. I'm going to look into the mirror of God's word. I'm going to look at Robert, and I'm going to ask the Lord, okay, show me today what I can work on. And I think you're so right. That's going to give me this awareness. Rachel and I were watching this TV show right now, and I told her the other night, I was like, their self-awareness is just not even there. Like you could tell everybody in the room was like, bro, stop. And they just kept going and kept going and kept going, completely unaware. But I want to have like some self-awareness. Like, let me be aware, okay, this building is under construction. This life is under construction. Let me be aware of what we're trying to work on today. And that starts with a conversation with the Lord in the morning and being like, okay, show me what it is that we're working on together today, because God's going to work with you, which is amazing that he has the patience and the long suffering and the forbearance to do that. But he's going to work with us, but it starts with us making that simple commitment. Okay, I'm willing to learn today.
Yeah.
I'm willing to be taught by your Spirit. I'm willing to be taught by your word. Show me how I can become better. Show me my faults, my failures, and my weaknesses. And so let's turn that around and make it strength, because God will help us do that.
Amen.
I love
Super
that.
good. Super good. I mean, it's like it's kind of like performance reviews. You know what I mean? It's
For
kinda
yourself.
Like, like you don't really know what you're doing bad at,
Or maybe
until-
you do.
or if you do, obviously, yeah. But it's like having those conversations, like within performance reviews, it helps you know, okay, this is what this person needs me to work on. Now, when I leave this room, I now know, okay,
Right.
I need to work on these things
True.
to be a better employee or
Yep.
to be a better boss or whatever it looks like in your situation. But having that conversation led you to know what you need to work
like
on.
that.
And so when you
I like
have
that.
that conversation with God, again, he's always leading you to work on things. He always wants you to work on things. But if you aren't having that back and forth with him, again, back and forth with him,
Right.
then you're not really aware
Yeah.
of the leadings as they come. And so I believe that when we take that time and we actually get in the face with God and just say, look, I'm out and about today. I'm going to be doing what you asked me to do, but I need to know how to be better today. I need to know what to work on
Yeah.
today. Or as I'm reading your word, show me
Amen.
where my growth points
Yeah,
need
yeah,
to
yeah.
be, so that way I can meet that mark that you have for my life.
Amen. I love that. It's I love that. Get personal reviews with God. That's amazing. And I think it's I hate when we're overcritical. But if I was going to ask someone to be critical of my life, I would want it to be God.
Yeah.
Be hypercritical about my life
Yeah.
and point these things out to me. I'm giving you permission to do that. And that's a wonderful, well said, Cody. I love it.
Praise the Lord.
Get a performance review from the Lord, and don't be afraid to get it daily.
Yeah. Go for it. Do it. Take the challenge upon yourself. Take the non-committal commitment.
I do want to say this, though.
Oh.
Because it just kind of came up. We're not saying that you need to be like hard on yourself and don't beat yourself up.
Yes,
That's not what we're
please
not
don't.
talking
Please
about.
don't.
We understand. Like, everybody's growing. We're all going through this process together. It's not about beating yourself up.
Yeah.
I mean, we all make mistakes. I'm not going to, if God's not going to beat me over the head with it, then I ought not beat myself up
Yeah.
with it. You know what I mean? All we're saying is just let's just make a desire to like do some real self-improvement. And
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
We don't want anyone to feel guilty, and we definitely don't want anyone to feel condemned. Condemnation's from the devil. It's not from God. All we're doing is like, you know what? I want to strive to be better.
Yeah.
And the only way I can strive to be better is like the Apostle Paul. I've got to let go of some things. I got to forget about these things behind me, and I've got to press on to know. Well, what do I want to press on to know? I want to press on to know him. And in pressing on to know him, he's going to show me some things that, maybe this is a little bit of flaw in Robert's character, a little bit of flaw in your thinking, a little bit of thought, whatever that flaw. I'm trying to say thaw. I don't know why flaw.
This flaw just sounded so, like the more you say it, I'm
Yeah.
like, is that even the right word anymore?
I know. It's because it wasn't. I was mixing flaw
Flaw.
and flaw together, and it was coming out really weird, like flaw. But we're just saying we're willing to let God talk to us about our faults, our flaws,
Our flaws.
I can't say that word. We're willing to let God. I'm not
Yeah.
going to feel bad about it. I'm not going to feel guilty about it. I mean, I think you understand what I'm saying. I just don't. I don't want anyone to be like, get into like this deep dark hole of like self-pity because you've been messing up over and over and over again.
Yeah.
That's not what we're saying.
Yeah.
Like, God doesn't want you there. We don't want you there.
Yeah.
We're just saying, let's be honest with ourselves and understand there's probably some things I could work on, and I want to be willing to work on those things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, God, give me a performance review and show me what my flaws are and show me how I can be better. And I think that's a very powerful, very good prayer.
Yeah. And it's a process, like you're saying. Like, it's not going to happen overnight. And there might be some things that you're able to quickly change.
Yep,
But
sure.
I think the majority of the things is it's a process, and you're going to learn to work with the Lord on how to be better at whatever it is He's letting you be
Yes.
better at. And
Yeah.
then one day you're going to turn around and be like, oh, when I was quick to snap at people, now I can
don't do
actually
that.
I can actually withstand some of the irritants that come my way, and I'm able to persevere, and I'm not able to let my flesh come out. Hey, I'm able
Yes.
to respond with my spirit,
So
man.
good.
So much better now because I've allowed the Lord to work on my life, and I've been able to follow his leadings rather than my fleshly leadings. And now 6 months later, wow, time has passed.
That's
And
cool.
it's so much better than I thought it would be.
That's
So,
the goal.
That's the goal.
Amen. That's
Amen.
wonderful. I love that.
So you can do it.
Yep.
Follow after him, ask for his help, and he'll guide you all
Take
the way.
the non-committal commitment with us.
We're taking the challenge, the non-challenge challenge.
Woo! The non-challenge challenge. Yes, sir.
Woo!
Easiest challenge I've ever done in my life.
So great. We love you guys so much. We hope you have a blessed, amazing day. Go after those leadings.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.